Amidst the sprawling ruins and radiation-soaked landscapes, the line between ordinary and peculiar can start to blur. Hidden among the ashes of nuclear devastation are hidden tales of sorrow and survival. Behind what seems to be mundane locations are many dark stories that epitomize life in the Fallout universe. This is 5 secret stories hidden in Fallout. In the decaying landscape of the capital wasteland, it's easy to overlook seemingly innocuous locations, dismissing them as nothing more than remnants of a bygone era. Such is the case with the mlen family townhome, an unmarked location nestled in the heart of Georgetown. At first glance, this unassuming suburban townhome may appear as just another dilapidated building in a world ravaged by nuclear war. However, beneath its unremarkable exterior lies a story that acts as a reference to and mirrors the narrative of Ray Bradbury's There Will Come Soft Rains. Situated on a relatively quiet street, the mlen family townhome appears as any other, a harsh reminder of the consequences of nuclear conflict. Outside of the game, however, it serves as an homage to Bradbury's short story, where a fully automated house continues its daily routines, oblivious to the fact its occupants have perished in the atomic holocaust. In the case of the mlen family townhome, an untold story unfolds within the confines of the house. A typical family, the McClellans, found themselves, like many others, caught in the maelstrom of nuclear war. The evidence of their fate is strewn throughout the house. Children's toys scattered in disarray, an empty crib, a skeleton lying on a bed next to a teddy bear. Within one of the first rooms of the house, a dormant Mr. Handy awaits orders. Mirroring the automated house of Bradbury's story, the Handy, when activated, continues to operate as if life in the pre-war world still exists. His cheerful and outdated announcements echo through the eerily silent home, starkly contrasting the grim reality of the world. Similar to Bradbury's tale, the true horror of the mlen townhome comes from the contrast between the Handy's unwavering dedication to his absent family and the reality of their demise. As players explore the small home, they can't help but feel a sense of sorrow. The everyday lives of the McClellans were frozen in time. Their hopes, dreams, and aspirations, like millions of others, all extinguished in an instant. Tucked away in the wreckage of Big John's salvage yard, a hidden story lies beneath the surface, a heartbreaking tale of survival. What is seemingly a standard junkyard turned supermutant stronghold hides a bleak and somber fate of one post-war family. Amidst the jumble piles of scrap and debris, an overturned train car hides an emergency fallout shelter. This bunker once offered refuge to the Miller family, seemingly ordinary people struggling to survive in a world ravaged by nuclear war. The shelter, designed to protect against the horrors of the post-apocalyptic wasteland, became both their sanctuary and their resting place. Upon extending these satellites at Relay Tower OSC 527, a distress signal emerges on the player's Pip-Boy. The looping message features a man breathing heavily, urgently seeking help. He explains that their hatch is sealed tight, and the generator regulating the bunker's oxygen levels has shut down. They are slowly suffocating. The man briefly interrupts his plea to reassure his daughter that everything will be all right. Upon entering the hatch, you come across a haunting scene. In a dimly lit chamber, 2 skeletons lay on a tattered mattress, their bodies intertwined as if clinging to each other in their final moments. Behind them, 2 graves reveal the fates of the rest of the family. In their final moments, they found comfort in each other's arms as the air grew thin. In a world marked by radiation, mutants, and raiders, sometimes it is a silent killer that ultimately seals one's fate. In the unforgiving Mojave wasteland, some locations appear mundane at first, their true secrets concealed behind layers of dust and decay. Among these seemingly ordinary places lies Matthew's Animal Husbandry Farm, a deceptively tranquil and rundown farm situated southwest of Camp Searchlight. On the surface, this farm might seem like any other abandoned homestead, lost to the ravages of time and nuclear catastrophe. However, as is often the case in the Fallout universe, appearances can be deceiving. The unsettling story of the farm slowly reveals itself through a series of diary entries, offering a glimpse into what befell this seemingly peaceful abode. The tale begins innocently enough, with the parents of a lone child venturing to the nearby Camp Searchlight, seeking essential supplies. As days turned to nights turned to days again, the parents' return grew increasingly unlikely. Fueled by desperation and concern, the lone child would venture to Searchlight, only to confront a nightmare that no one should ever have to witness. The parents had fallen victim to the Legion's Searchlight sabotage. This covert plot involved the destruction of the NCR's camp by releasing the radioactive waste that was stored in the town's fire station. The resulting radiation destroyed the city and turned many of its residents, NCR troopers stationed at the camp, into ghouls. Faced with the horrifying realization that their parents were now feral ghouls, the child had no choice but to defend themselves. The child would take the lives of their ghoulified parents. Alone and traumatized, the child's descent into madness was swift. Paranoia gripped their mind, leading them to concoct an elaborate and delusional narrative. The farm animals were conspiring to eat the lone child. In a final, maniacal act of desperation, the child would set the farmhouse ablaze, immolating themselves in the process. Now all that's left is the child's skeletal remains and those same animals that they believed to be man-eating. What was an otherwise mundane farm now serves as the final resting place for one last victim of the Searchlight sabotage. In the relatively untouched post-apocalyptic landscape of Appalachia, the town of Sutton was once host to a horrific event in the wake of nuclear destruction. At first glance, the town, and notably its humble church, may seem like just another barren location in the world of Fallout 76, a deserted town left abandoned because of the scorched plague. Yet within the worn and weathered walls of Sutton's church, a sinister tale unfolds, a dark secret concealed behind what appears to be an ordinary place of worship. In the aftermath of the Great War, but prior to the scorched plague, Sutton was claimed as a stronghold by the ruthless Pleasant Valley Raiders. The group fortified the town, transforming it into a makeshift fortress. Amidst the town, though, its church would become home to a macabre congregation led by one of the raiders. According to a note found near the town entrance, a group of survivors came upon the town and began looting. One of the raiders managed to convince the people that he was a religious figure and told them to come pray with him at the church. The group believed him and began following his teachings. Unbeknownst to them, however, their faith would lead them down a path of tragedy. The raider cult leader, with sinister charisma and cunning persuasion, convinced his followers to renounce their worldly possessions, preparing them for a final ritual that they would never get the chance to comprehend. Despite this grand manipulation, some among them began to catch on to the cult leader's deception. A journal entry hints at their growing suspicions, leading to the raider deciding to step down as the leader. Yet this change in leadership would not matter, as the raider's grand plan would soon be realized. Under the guise of celebrating a new leader taking over, the raider would prepare some specially crafted drinks. As revealed in a final journal entry, the raider cult leader orchestrated a horrific mass poisoning within the church's sacred confines. The innocent followers, their skeletons still present in the pews, fell victim to the leader's malevolent intentions. The very sanctuary they sought became their tomb. With the raider having up and left, all that's left in Sutton's old church are the remains of the devotees, their empty cups, and the word repent, bolded in red paint. We head back to the Capital Wasteland for this next location. Within the Capital Wasteland, there are places where remnants of the old world loom. One such place is an old elementary school, Springville Elementary. At first glance, the school appears to be just another dilapidated relic of a time long gone. However, hidden behind the cracked exterior of this mundane education institution, a nightmarish tale of brutality is put on display. Springville Elementary lies host to the grim realities of post-apocalyptic life. Notably, it's one of two locations where players tend to first encounter the cutthroat raider faction of Fallout 3. What makes this encounter particularly chilling is the sheer brutality that greets unsuspecting wanderers. The school's halls, once filled with the laughter of children, now bear witness to the raiders' ruthlessness. Mutilated corpses decorate the walls and ceilings like macabre trophies of their violent conquests. As players navigate this labyrinth, they can't escape the evidence of the raiders' sadistic nature. Perhaps the most harrowing detail lies within a cage, filled with the small skeletal remains of what I can only assume to be children. This heart-wrenching discovery casts a dark shadow over the raiders' malevolence. It suggests that their cruelty knows no bounds, even extending to the youngest and most vulnerable in the world. What makes Springville truly haunting is the stark contrast between its innocent exterior and its horrors within. A place once dedicated to fostering the minds of America's future has now been transformed into a chamber of nightmares. Springville Elementary School now serves as a reminder of the wasteland's cruelty, a place where there are no limitations on its harshness. But raiders aren't always crazed and bloodthirsty villains. Well, they are, but some have much more complex tales than others. Red Tourette, a formidable raider leader located at the federal ration stockpile, found herself in the midst of some heartbreaking drama when her beloved sister, Lily, was kidnapped by another group of raiders led by the merciless Tower Tom. Lily was brought to Beantown Brewery, where her life took a tragic turn. Tower Tom and his gang, running low on supplies, used Lily as a bargaining chip to extort her sister's gang for food and resources. Lily, under the constant threat of her captors, made desperate attempts to free herself from her predicament. Tragically, in one such attempt, she met an accidental demise at the hands of Tower Tom. This would prove a problem for the struggling raiders at Beantown Brewery, and so in an attempt to conceal their heinous actions, Tower Tom began fabricating letters from Lily to Red, perpetuating the belief that Lily was still alive. The letters served as a guise, allowing the raiders to continue their extortion tactics, all while hiding the gruesome truth of Lily's death. The tale of the Tourette sisters serves as a reminder that even amidst the deadly and crazed raiders, hidden stories of sorrow and deceptions can be brought to light. And that covers 5+1 hidden stories found within the Fallout universe. If you can think of any more, let me know. I'm always open to making a part 2. But that's all from me today, folks. Thanks for listening. If you liked the video, be sure to share and subscribe. Have a good rest of your day. Cheers.
There will come soft rains and the smell of the ground, and swallows circling with their shimmering sound, and frogs in the pool singing at night, and wild plum trees in tremulous white. Robins will wear their feathery fire, whistling their whims on a low, fence wire. And not one will know of the war, not one will care at last when it is done, not one would mind neither bird nor tree if mankind perished utterly. And Spring herself, when she woke at dawn, would scarcely know that we were gone.